Hey, how's it going? Zach D Productions here, and I'm here with a ranking video for you guys. So for this ranking, I'll be ranking opening tracks. Now, for this video, I'll be ranking the opening tracks from Linkin Park from their main studio albums. Keep in mind, we're not going to be including any EPs, live albums, or compilations or anything, just the main studio albums by Linkin Park, the 7 albums from the band. Of course, they only have 7 albums, so not a very lengthy discography. May Chester Bennington rest in peace. So with this ranking, also keep in mind, I'm not going to include the intros and instrumental interludes and things like that because some of their albums do start off with an intro piece or an interlude piece or whatever. So I'm not going to be including those. What I'll do is I'll just feature whatever the first actual song on the album is. For example, when we get to A Thousand Suns, I won't be featuring the Requiem or whatever that album starts off with. I'll be including Burning in the Skies. So on that note, I think we can go ahead and get started. Now, what I have last, the weakest opening track from Linkin Park, I gotta go with Nobody Can Save Me from One More Light. One More Light is definitely Linkin Park's worst album, and I feel like with this ranking, it's almost the same as my just album ranking as a whole, their full-length albums. But either way, it's not a very strong album, One More Light. I mean, it does have a few redeeming tracks, I think, like the title track. It's definitely one of the highlights on the album. Yes, it is very emotional, and it's hard to listen to, but it is one of the better songs on the album. And Heavy is a song that's kind of grown on me a little bit as well. I do find that song to be kind of catchy, even if it is mainstream pop sounding. But either way, Nobody Can Save Me. It's okay, I think. It's an okay track. I mean, I wouldn't even say it's the worst song on One More Light. I mean, it's okay, but it's got to be last when we're talking about the Linkin Park opening tracks. So next we have Burning in the Skies from A Thousand Suns. Again, we're not including intros or instrumentals or interludes or anything, so Burning in the Skies is up next for me personally from A Thousand Suns. Now, I do like the A Thousand Suns album. I seem to like it more than a lot of people do. I know that some fans say that this is one of their worst albums, but I actually dig the album. I do. I mean, for its time, it was definitely their most unique and most experimental album at the time. And yeah, I thought it really worked. Now, I don't love everything off this album. I don't really return to everything off this album. Like the closing track, The Messenger, whatever it's called, I never cared for that song. I mean, it is probably one of my least favorite Linkin Park songs. It's not terrible or anything. I just don't go back to it very much. There's better songs on the album. But Burning in the Skies is a pretty decent track, I think. It's not great or amazing or anything, but it's decent. You could say it's more on the radio-friendly side of things. So yeah, Burning in the Skies, not a bad song. Next, we have Lost in the Echo from Living Things. A pretty decent track, I think. Actually, I think it's one of the better songs off of Living Things. Now, Living Things I do think is one of their weaker albums. I don't think it's as bad as One More Light, though, but it's, when we're ranking the album, it's definitely closer to the lower half. But Lost in the Echo, pretty good track, actually. Not a bad way to start off Living Things, I don't think. Good vocals from, of course, Mike Shinoda especially. So, all in all, Lost in the Echo, really good one. So next we have Keys to the Kingdom from The Hunting Party. Now, when I first listened to The Hunting Party, I was pretty surprised by it, mainly due to the fact that it was pretty heavy. It's one of their heaviest albums. And this song is without exception. I mean, it kicks off with a heavy song, Keys to the Kingdom. It's got some great riff work and great, just all in all, great instrument work in general. Great vocals from Chester with his screams and everything. Same with Mike Shinoda. He has a good vocal delivery in this track as well. So all in all, Keys to the Kingdom, really good one. Really dig this track. Next, we have Given Up from Minutes to Midnight. Now, yes, I do know that Wake is technically the opening track to this album, but again, we're only counting the actual songs. Given Up is the first actual song on the album. Really great song, and honestly, probably one of my favorite Linkin Park songs too. I mean, everything from Chester's vocals to the drum work, again, just the instrument work in general is fantastic. And we can't forget about that long scream from Chester in the song. Very iconic. Probably one of the most iconic moments, not only in this album, but in Linkin Park's entire career. Really great song. So Given Up, great song. And yeah, I'd say it's one of their best opening songs. Now, at number two and number one for me, it's honestly a tie between Paper Cut from Hybrid Theory and, of course, Don't Stay from Meteora. Really tough to pick between the two, which opening track I enjoy more, because they're both totally different songs. So, and I think they're both like equally great, if that makes sense. Paper Cut is definitely more on the catchy side of things. It is a very iconic Linkin Park song that's very memorable and, again, very catchy. But I also really dig the energy that Don't Stay has to offer. Now, yes, I know that Meteora does open with Forward, which basically leads into Don't Stay. But yeah, Don't Stay is a great track. This is actually a song that I find that not a lot of fans give enough credit to, actually. I don't really see a lot of fans talk about this song. But yeah, I've always really enjoyed this track. It's got its heaviness and everything. So yeah, both great opening tracks, Paper Cut and Don't Stay. So I'm probably just going to have to go with the tie for my number one favorite Linkin Park opening track. So I got to go with Paper Cut and Don't Stay from both Hybrid Theory and Meteora. So there you go. That is my ranking for the Linkin Park opening tracks. Feel free to let me know what you think. How would you rank Linkin Park's opening tracks from their main studio albums? Feel free to let me know. So with that said, thank you for watching. Have a good one.